Shell Oil Company has been asking for permission to drill in the Arctic. They believe they've got oil there. Now, here's the problem. If there's a spill, it's going to be an unmitigated disaster. In fact, Lloyd's of London, a famous insurance company, says there's no way in the world we would ever insure that. The risk is far too high, and the damage and the cost would be far too high as well. So no way we're going to do it. And when you ask the Coast Guard, can you clean it up? They're like, not really. Nope. Can't clean it up if there's a spill. And then they ask Ken Salazar, and we told you about this last week, the Interior Secretary, what's your answer to all this? He says, don't worry, the oil isn't going to spill. Okay, fail. Now, it gets worse. Now, when Exxon Valdez spilled, how much of the oil were we able to collect? Because right now, Shell is claiming, we'll get 90 to 95% of it if it spills in the Arctic. Great quote on that in a second. So, the Exxon Valdez, we recovered after 3 years and $2 billion, less than 7% of the spilled oil. Okay, now Gulf of Mexico, when we had the BP spill, well, that was much better conditions. Thousands of nearby boats. In the Arctic, there won't be anywhere near that level of boats that are there already to help with the cleanup. And then we also, of course, had a concerted nationwide effort, calm waters, etc. How much of the oil did we collect? 4%. We burned off another 6%, but that might have caused more environmental damage than just keeping it in the water. So, win. So, in the Arctic, you're going to get 90-95%. Here are the other conditions in the Arctic. 20-foot swells, hurricane-force winds. These are common occurrences. Obviously, sea ice, months of total darkness. There are no deep water ports or infrastructure needs to mount a major oil spill response. In other words, it would be an unmitigated disaster. All right, well, then you go to Coast Guard Admiral Roger Roof. What did he tell NPR about the idea of doing the spill? He said, quote, we've never proven anywhere in the world, let alone in the ice, that we're good at picking up more than 3 or 5 or 10% of the oil once it's in the water. So inconceivable that we could pick up more than 10%, right? Under the best conditions, let alone in the frickin' Arctic. So this gets funnier, hold. Interior Secretary Ken Salazar told the New York Times he believed the company's claims that it could collect at least 90% of any oil spilled in the event of a well blowout. So here's a guy who's supposedly working for a progressive president who, after the BP disaster in the Gulf, says, no, I take the company at its word. Yeah, if they say they can pick up 90%, I believe it. Sure, they can pick up 90%, and don't worry about it anyway, because there won't be an oil spill. All right, but it gets better. So then NPR's Richard Harris talked to Shell to see what their spin on this would be, because it seems unjustifiable to pick up 90 or 95% of the oil if there's a spill. No right-thinking person in their mind could possibly believe that. So here it comes, the killer quote. The oil company's plan is to confront 95% of the oil out in the open water before it comes ashore. That doesn't mean responders can collect what they encounter. No, it's okay. We encountered the oil. Why? Look at that. There's the oil. Are you going to pick it up? Oh, no, of course. We can't do that. We just encountered it. And then they go, but you see, the saddest part of this is that they give this load of crap to the government, and any self-respecting government that actually represents the will of the people would say, well, obviously you have no plan to pick up the oil if there is a spill, and the insurance companies say the cost would be so catastrophic that they won't cover it. I'm not going to take that kind of risk with the American taxpayers' money so that you can make an extra buck. But of course, our government doesn't represent the will of the people. It represents their donors. Who's their donors? The oil companies. So what does our government say? Well, if they say they can encounter it, well, encounter it, they will. And if they say there's going to be no oil spill, well, obviously there's going to be no oil spill. And then finally, even Shell admits, quote, because the on-scene conditions can be so variable, it would be rather ridiculous of us to make any kind of performance guarantee. Even they say it would be ridiculous to think that they would actually pick up 90 to 95% of the oil. And what does our government say? Thank you very much, sir. May I please have another? In this case, the other is another oil spill, and this one, we're not going to have any chance of cleaning up. That's what happens when you put your government up for sale.